Hi, everyone. Welcome to True Disabled Story. My name is Nico, and I use he, him pronouns. I'm a white man with blonde hair, large blue and brown spectacles, and I'm wearing a dark shirt underneath a gold zip-up hoodie. I'm seated against a bookcase and a purple wall. This is my home office. Like roughly 25% of Americans and 17% of Philadelphians like me, I'm disabled. And whether we look locally, nationally, or globally, different disabled communities are full of dynamic, diverse, and downright delightful people with their own stories to tell. Now, I was born with my disability. I've never known different, and I've always been naturally curious about the diagnostic stories of other disabled people. For those of you with a keen eye, you'll notice that my guest today is my old friend Hawa, who we also met during Your Disabled Joy. So always happy to reconnect with you, Hawa, and hear your perspective on things. How's it going?
It's going great, Nico. Hello, everyone. My name is Hawa Alarakia. I use she, her pronouns. I'm wearing brown, black rimmed glasses. My hair is a shade of dark brown, black. My top is a blue top, and around me, you'll see my blue wheelchair in the background, along with a table and a box behind me. Thank you so much for having me, Nico. I'm so excited to talk to you again today.
Absolutely, of course. I was really happy to see when you volunteered for this. So, Hawa, what was your path to diagnosis like? Was this something out of the blue, like it shocked you, or was it something you were maybe actively pursuing, or something else entirely? What was that story like for you?
So, my path to diagnosis was that at being born at 25 weeks premature and weighing in at 1 pound and 11 ounces, I developed a brain bleed, which led to me receiving the diagnosis of hemiplegic cerebral palsy at birth. So this is something that I live with every day, and I've lived with for my entire life and will continue to do so for the remainder. It affects the left side of my body, so I have a lot of muscle tone and tension in my left arm and leg, which makes it hard to use that arm. And walking is difficult, but I do so with the aid of a four frame walker in my home. During other times when I'm out and about, including today when I'm at work on the campus of the University of South Florida in Sarasota, I use a motorized scooter as my mobility device.
Fantastic, Howard. Thank you. That was really comprehensive. Uh, and I totally see you as somebody who is also diagnosed at birth. You've touched on this a little bit, but I want to give you perhaps more space to discuss this or to paint a broader picture. What impact has this diagnosis had on your life?
The diagnosis of having CP has literally impacted every single aspect of my life, whether that was, school and how I performed academically from a young age. I was diagnosed with the learning disability of specific learning disability, which is a processing disorder when I was in elementary school. So I've had to struggle with that, which meant accommodations all through school. It meant remedial reading courses and math courses in elementary school and some in middle school. Physically, it had limited a lot of things that I could do as a kid, running around and kind of playing with people and just those typical things you do as a child, chasing after people at recess and everything like that. Um, you know, when I got older, it affected my ability to learn how to drive. So even though I tried my absolute hardest and pursued that, task for almost 5 years between the ages of 15 and 20, it just wasn't something that I could accomplish because well, because of my CP, I tend to sort of lean over when I'm sitting, even if I'm really trying to sit up straight. And I was doing that while I was driving, which was pulling the vehicle kind of to the left side, which was making it, a little bit dangerous to drive. So even though I really tried hard, driving is not something I'm able to do, which limits all the things I can do. I have to rely on people to take me places, because even though I live in a little bit of a metropolitan area, I'm not in Philadelphia or New York. Our public transport is less to be desired. Accessibility transport is also, you know, in dire need of improvements. If you do use handy, so the handy bus, it is for people who need to go to doctor's appointments, and I've seen people wait a long time for their ride to come, and it's just not, it's not as friendly as it could be. And, as for me, it's just not something that I have found to be really useful. I know that at some point it's going to be necessary that I have to do those things to get around because I won't have my family to drive me everywhere. But it my disability has affected everything, pretty much everything I do. It's affected the type of job opportunities I can go for because I can't drive myself to an office that is an hour away from my home or something like that. So, but I try to look at it as much as positive as I can, because I am stayed local with my family. That just makes us really close as a family, and family is important. So I try to see all the positive things that I have to live with every day, so that the negativity of circumstances doesn't just drag you down and stop you from accomplishing what you want.
Hawa, thank you. In your response, I really can tell how resilient you are and the foundations upon which you build that resilient attitude, right? Really glad that you have your family. And as a fellow non-driver, I really do sympathize with that lack of public transit. It really makes all the difference. Um, I do recognize that Philadelphia has, like, in addition to really good public transit for a major US city, also like a fairly understandable grid layout. It's very easy to get around. So I see you in that. How, looking back, what advice would you give people with your diagnosis, your form of cerebral palsy?
I think that the one piece of advice that I would give people with my diagnosis, and something that I'm trying to do at this stage in my life, is to get more involved with advocacy work and becoming an advocate for yourself, because being my own advocate has been like a point of strength and kept me going. And in the so that is the advice that I would give other people in my situation. So even for little kids, right, when regardless of their type of difficulty, they should be involved in all academic and other decision making meetings that have to do with them. And so that they, even if they're not technically, part of the final decision making, their thoughts and how they feel and what they want are all incorporated in everything that they have to manage. Even when I was growing up, I was always a part of any meeting that had to do with school or my therapy or whatever, and I was asked what I wanted. and what I think should happen. And that made me a really strong advocate for myself. And it served me well later in life when you go off to college and you have to advocate for yourself because that's what they expect you to do because you're an adult. So that is my advice to anyone with any diagnosis is do everything you can to become your own advocate, because the moment you do that, you gain some of the power that you may feel has been taken away from control, and power that you could feel has been taken away from you due to your disability.
Absolutely. I definitely see the wisdom in that advice there. Getting started early in your advocacy journey is never a bad thing. And I'm really grateful that your parents, your doctors, your care team involve you even as a young kid in your own medical care and your own decisions. That was really fantastic of them. How, as we close our time together today, I want to give you a chance to really stand up like on your own soapbox, promote yourself. Where can people find you online? What cool things are you doing? Is there like a recent win that you have going on in your life? I think we talked about one, but perhaps that was before we started recording. So this is your chance to really put your name out there. Hit
Sure.
me.
So everyone can find me on LinkedIn. You just search for my first name and last name, Hawa Alirakia, spelled first name Hawa and last name AllarakaHia. And a really big win that I'm really proud of recently is that in December of last year, I started writing as a contributor for Women in Higher Education magazine, which is a Wiley publication. And I'm really proud of the women in higher ed that I've gotten to profile so far. So if anyone working in that setting is interested in being interviewed by me and possibly being included in the issue of the magazine, please reach out. I'd be happy to talk to as many. I love talking to people and meeting new people. So I'm happy to interview anyone who would be interested in that. And it's something that I'm really proud to be doing right now.
Howard, thank you so much. This has been really wonderful to get a chance to hang out with you again and to hear about this update to your life. Congratulations on contributing to the periodical. That's remarkable. All right, my friend. Take care, okay?
Thank you.
Of course.